If you haven't watched the first part of this series, ABCs for a Happy and Fulfilled Relationship, I encourage you to go back and watch my video on the importance of acceptance, appreciation, and acknowledgement. Now moving along through the alphabet, we're on to the B's, and those are boundaries, beliefs, and behavior. I'm Coach Tatoya, and this is Blossom in Love. Boundaries are the foundation for a solid and healthy relationship. If you're in a relationship right now that always feels rocky, there's a good chance your boundaries need to be re-examined. Before you even enter an exclusive relationship, you must identify and define your own personal boundaries. That means knowing who you are and what you will and will not accept. Going through this process is the only way to protect your heart and maintain interdependence as you make yourself vulnerable to this new person. Conflict occurs when relationship boundaries are either too weak or too strict. So not only is it imperative that you have your own personal boundaries, but that you and your partner come together collectively to establish some kind of guideline for your relationship. That means actually sitting down and having a conversation to discuss what you want and need from one another. Too often, people assume the other person already knows, and that's not always true. So make sure you actually have this talk so that there's no confusion. It's also a good idea to revisit this conversation as the relationship progresses and becomes more serious, because your boundaries might look completely different when you are engaged or married versus when you were dating. Now, you want to make sure that your boundaries are understood and agreed upon by both people. Now let's talk about the importance of discussing your beliefs with your partner. If you're trying to establish a long-lasting relationship, you'll want to have this conversation in great detail. And it might include anything from religion to your opinions about divorce or children, how you might divide up the bills, anything else that you deem important. Shared values and beliefs are what keep people together during difficult times. When people don't share the same core values, they tend to argue a lot more, and they tend to have frequent breakups simply because they don't see eye to eye on the most important matters of life. Once you establish boundaries and make sure that you and your partner are on the same page as far as beliefs, you can focus your attention on making sure that your behaviors are congruent with these ideas. Okay, so this is where trust is built. So you'll need to stay committed to whatever you two agreed upon. Just to give you an example, if my guy and I come up with a boundary against snooping in each other's phone, meaning we will not go through each other's phone because we both believe we have a right to privacy. That means I should never get caught going through his phone. Notice I said never get caught. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. So my behavior would need to be consistent with the boundary that we both established based off of our mutual belief about privacy. Okay, let me give you another example. If you and your partner decide that sexual intercourse with other people is off limits because you both believe in monogamy, that means neither one of you should be having sexual relations with other people or requesting participation for a group activity. As you can see, boundaries, beliefs, and behaviors, they all go hand in hand. But when someone behaves opposite of a boundary that they agreed to based off of a belief, the trust is broken. And we all know that a relationship without trust is dead. And it's really difficult to forgive someone who violates your trust or breaks a rule that they agreed to. So you have to make sure that you're both in it together. Thank you so much for watching. Please share with a friend. I'm looking forward to wrapping up this series on the C's.